What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode number 73 this time. I'm Fox2. We got Topher.
Yes, we do. We have Topher.
And Princess Brian.
Hi, I'm Wonder Woman.
I'm
Uh,
confused by this. I'm not gonna.
I'm
not
surprised
gonna
you
lie.
guys.
It's a little awkward.
I'm surprised you guys didn't realize pre-recording that I was wearing a Wonder Woman sweatshirt.
I thought it was a Captain America robe or something. Until you put the hood up. Yeah.
That's special, Brian.
maybe it'll mess up and hang itself with its lasso of truth.
That's fucking special. Okay, so let's talk about what we've been reading. I haven't read anything, so Brian.
So that was quick.
That was quick.
Well, it's one of these weeks again.
Mm-hmm.
I read this week, of course. I read some of the Convergence and the Convergence titles.
Is it still as bad as we thought it was going to be?
Number 2 is a little bit better for the only fact that, if you read the first one, we're following the Earth 2 heroes. So in this one, Earth 2 Batman, which is Thomas Wayne, and their Dick Grayson split up from the rest of them to go find. Thomas Wayne wants to go find some equipment to help them fight whatever the guy's name is, Telios.
Yeah, the planet guy.
So it leads him going to a Gotham City and going through the sewers and we're looking for something, and he finds a door that leads to the Batcave, and Dick Grayson's like, how'd you know that door was there? He's like, 'cause I would put it there. So basically it goes through a confrontation between, not really a confrontation, but they show up in the Batcave. Alfred's not surprised at all by seeing them. And Thomas Wayne goes to find that Batman in the Wayne Manor, and there's a little they're staring at each other broodingly, with their masks off. It was kind of cool just to see Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne together, and then at the end of the issue, Alfred gives their version, Dick Grayson, who's never became Nightwing, a bodysuit, but he doesn't it's all folded up, so you don't really see it. So that's the only cool part, but you don't know which Batman that was. The Bruce Wayne version, Thomas Wayne's from Earth 2, but you don't know where that Batman was from.
Shit's all too confusing.
Yeah, they don't. The thing that has me on this is, Future's End and World's End led into this, but you haven't seen any of the New 52 characters yet, any of the heroes or villains from New 52, and they still don't tell you in the beginning of the comic where any of these
people are from.
Yeah. They give you 5 different circles with different storylines or universes, but they don't really tell you in that issue where it's from. I mean, some of these things you don't even care about. I picked up and read the Green Lantern Parallax issue, and they're fighting Hal Jordan and Kyle Rayner are fighting these. I don't know if they're heroes, supposed to be heroes or villains, but these people from this Electropolis, and I have no idea where that's from, but they're just this futuristic city. Nobody has powers. They're driving at them with weird tanks. Some of the issues are good, but some of them are just what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like I said, I get the feeling that as a whole it's going to be just mostly irrelevant. It's just,
yeah,
I don't know, filler material. For sure.
I get the whole thing of why they did this convergence. They wanted to give a final ending to some of these stories and characters that just disappeared at Flashpoint, but make it worth it. Don't just throw these two issue arcs in there where one of the things aren't going to survive and you're never going to see him again. You'd think they'd make it like on a bigger scale, like more exciting, because you're never going to see these people again
Right.
after these. But 2 issues where even in the last 2 issues, and they're supposed to fight to see what city survives, but like at the end of the first issue, whoever shows up in that character's issue, and then they're supposed to fight in the last issue, and then it's supposed to be resolved to whoever survives. It doesn't seem good to me as a reader and a person who loves these characters.
I don't know. I think honestly part of the reason why I haven't read many comic books the last few weeks is because of the fact that I'm really not that excited about Convergence. Like, the concept of it doesn't really entice me at all. The first few books that I read were not good, in my opinion. They were not like a good lead into something that makes me look forward to the next issue. It's just, I don't know. I personally already can't wait for that to be over and just see what is next, because I'm already pretty much done with it.
It also has me worried for Secret Wars, because they're so close to resembling each other that I'm kind of nervous if Marvel's going to do the same thing with Secret Wars. It's going to be like dull like that.
I don't know.
It looks like with Secret Wars, at least, the event is kind of the setup, and then the whole battle world planet with all the different zones and areas of different places from different planets and shit. Like, I got the feeling that was supposed to continue on past Secret Wars. So maybe it will, maybe it won't. But if they can do more of the setup and the story of how that place came to exist, and then some initial squabbles and setup stuff, then that'd be cool. If they actually have room to develop it, past that after the event. But trying to bring it all together and resolve it in 8 issues seems pretty
a bit much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at least Battle World and Secret Wars has a tie-in issue coming out that's just the fighting, called Battle World.
Right.
So at least they're doing that and don't have to throw everything in like every single issue.
Well, on the other hand, as Fox normally points out, like anytime you have one of these crossovers where there's like fucking 15 books that you have to get to read the whole, everything that's going on. Like, I know people get annoyed at that sometimes too. So yes, it might be good that they're, it's not just the core 8 books. They have other places to explore it. But again, then it's not just 8 books. You're having to buy 50 books just to read the entire, crossover.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what did you get to read anything this week, Topher?
I did. I read some Uncanny Avengers. I finally finished the storyline that I started months ago with Kang tries to take over Earth by getting the Avengers to kill a Celestial, and and in the story, I even talked about it on the podcast. I said Earth gets blown up basically, and all the mutants get taken away to some other planet. I'm like, wait, what? How does this work? Why is no one else talking about this? Well, it turns out because time travel. They go back and they prevent that, and
the old
and
do-over.
So yeah, it did happen in one timeline, but they go back and stop everything before that happens. Of course, that only plays them right into Kang's hands because he wanted them to do that, and that lets Kang do his next plan. So it actually ended up being a halfway decent storyline. Once you can follow all the time travel nonsense. But then I also read.
Let's do the time warp again.
Okay, so completely off topic, but did you hear that they're going to be celebrating the 40th or whatever anniversary of Rocky Horror, and they're going to be making like some TV series remake of it.
Yeah, they're remaking it. Yeah, I did.
Like, oh my god,
it's going to be
yeah,
awful.
like we're celebrating 40 years of the movie by not showing the movie and completely destroying it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's gonna be I'm interested to see how that turns out. I'll probably watch it for the train wreck factor. The other thing I read was Deadpool the Gauntlet, which was an Infinite comic that they released. So if you've never seen one of Marvel's Infinite comics, they're basically digital comics, but they're, instead of like a traditional comic book page layout, with panel by panel, it's meant for viewing on like tablets or on your computer.
Oh, is that the one that kind of like moves a little bit and shit?
Yeah, it's not necessarily motion comics. Like, they don't do like the scenes aren't animated, but the panel transitions are a little bit. So like like you'll have the character and it'll be one speech bubble, and then you'll tap or swipe to the next panel, and like another speech bubble will pop up, or or then like a new, like it'll zoom out and there'll be like another panel next to it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
so, like,
I have read one of those. It's pretty neat.
The panel transitions are a lot more dynamic, because you can show somebody and then they can zoom out. You can see that somebody else is suddenly now standing behind them, or they will like alter, like they'll keep part of the panel and then like that person will go away in the background like they left, or like little things will pop up over it with a character coming in. It's just kind of neat. It's actually it's they're trying something different. It's a different medium, and it's kind of fun. They released a few free ones on Marvel Unlimited, I think. Like there were some Guardians of the Galaxy ones that were released a while back, like around the time that the latest Guardian series came out a couple years ago, and they're pretty neat. But Deadpool, honestly, Deadpool continues to be one of the best books I'm reading. Like, it's funny, it's got action, like you wouldn't believe it necessarily, but the character development in Deadpool is better than most books I've read. There's so many references to pop culture. Like, Deadpool makes so many references and jokes, and like there's just I find myself smiling over something on every single page. Like, it's just been great. I'm still a bit behind too. Like, this was the series that led up to Deadpool's wedding, the wedding of Deadpool issue, the number 27. So I'm still like a year behind on this series. But ever since like this series started, the one that Brian Posehn and Jerry Dugan are writing, like it's been great. It started with the Dead President's arc, and then like it just, I don't know, it's been a really good comic.
I love the Dead President's arc. That's one of my favorites.
Dead Presidents was great, and like everything that they've done since then, like it's amazing how well it flows from story arc to story arc. They keep some things going. Deadpool like isn't just a complete joke. Like he actually they actually get into his character a little bit, and like you see him have some weaknesses, and there's some very serious moments in him, and it's been really fucking good. So I mean, anybody who's not read Deadpool, you can pretty much jump into that series. Like, I would start from the first issue, but like you don't need to know anything else that's going on in the Marvel universe. You can pretty much read just Deadpool at any time, and it's one of the best comics that I'm reading right now.
I haven't really read much Deadpool. A little bit here and there, but for whatever reason, every time I sit down and read some of it, I just have a hard time getting really into it. I don't know why, but that's just me. To each their own. Okay, let's jump over and start talking news, because there's a good amount of news that we want to get covered this week. Let's start with the Star Wars trailer. Topher, we'll go to you first. You got that big shit-eating grin on your face.
I'm trying to hide my
So,
corner.
Star Wars Celebration was going on this past week. It's an annual convention in Anaheim, California. Basically, like just a giant Star Wars convention, and there were a lot of panels and a lot of announcements made, and there's all kinds of stuff. But possibly the biggest one was the new teaser trailer for Star Wars Episode 7: The Force Awakens. It's epic. Like if you haven't seen it, go watch it like right now. Pause this shit and go watch that because it's fantastic and we're about to tell you what happens in it and it's way cooler if you see it for yourself.
Trailer spoiler.
I mean, it was great. Like it felt like Star Wars. I mean, they didn't give away any of the. It was a teaser trailer, so they don't like cover the plot. They don't say here's what's gonna happen. Like you're just getting little glimpses of things. But I mean, there was action. There were characters having fun. You see the rebellion. You see the remnants of some kind of empire. You see stormtroopers with a new look. There's a giant banner behind them with some other logo that's not quite the Empire, so you don't really know who's there. But I mean, just from the opening scene, like that starts up with John Williams' amazing music, and you've got the speeder going across a desert planet and a crashed Star Destroyer in the background.
That was one of my
so
favorite
awesome.
scenes.
It's just right off the bat, it's like, oh shit, like this is epic. And then it starts getting into action, and you see stormtroopers fighting, and X-wings flying over water, shooting at TIE fighters, and TIE fighters launching, and hangars blowing up, and
Millennium Falcon,
and Rebel pilots having fun, and then you see the Millennium Falcon fly past, and and fly into the exhaust, the giant booster exhaust port of the this crashed Star Destroyer or whatever, and start flying around inside, and you're like, yes, another aerial flying scene, and then and then you get Star Wars, and you think, oh man, that was awesome, and then the best scene in the trailer happens, and you see fucking Han Solo. You hear Harrison Ford say, "Chewie, we're home," or whatever, and it's him and Chewie standing there, and you see Han Solo, like that smile, and it's like, oh my god, like I'm not even gonna lie, like I had tears come to my eyes, like like no, seriously, like I teared up, like it was like seeing an old long lost friend, it was like, oh my god, this is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I really think it's gonna be incredible.
The voiceover by Mark Hamill, my father has it, the melted Vader helmet, and then
the melted Vader helmet was pretty badass.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And they covered the old, the old folks too. You have a hooded, I'm guessing Luke with his robot hand, maybe reaching out and touching R2D2 and narrating. You've got, he says, my sister has it, and you see like Carrie Fisher's hand reach out and take a lightsaber, and you got Han Solo at the end. And I mean, the new characters look pretty damn good too. So I mean, I don't know how there's anything to not like about this trailer. It was just pure fantasticness from start to end. Like 10 out of 10, 5 stars. I don't know. I can't find a flaw with it.
I completely agree with you 100%. I thought it was awesome. I thought it brought back the excitement from the original movies, seeing them the first couple times, seeing them in theater for the first time when they re-released them. I mean, it's going to be insane. How busy do you think theaters are going to be? Let's talk about that for a second. How long do you think the lines are when they announce, like, when ticket sales will open? How long do you think you would have to wait in line to get a ticket for the opening day? For the first
probably
show?
Not at all, because I do it online.
Yeah, well, the question is, like, how fast will sites crash because there's so many people trying to get tickets?
That's kind of a bummer, honestly, that now all that shit's done online. Like, one of my fondest memories about Star Wars was when they
re-released. Turned away when they were sold out.
When they re-released it, and we waited in line, me and a friend of mine, for so long. I mean, hours.
Well,
and got tickets to get in.
I'll tell you what. When I went and saw, was it Captain America, Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
Was it Winter Soldier? we bought ours ahead of time, but we still got there early and waited in a giant line of people to get in because, the theater's going to sell out. You don't want to be the last in line and your group have to split up into the four corners of the frickin' theater. You're sitting in the front row doing this the whole time, not able to really see it. So, I mean, there will still be lines. People are probably going to line up, just to get a decent
Do you think that it's going to be so big that theaters, literally almost every single screen in a theater, will be showing that movie?
I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
every
probably.
screen. They're going to have contractual obligations to show other movies, but I do think that there will probably be, hell, if they do like a midnight release launch, I wouldn't be surprised if they made every theater in
Every screen, yeah.
every screen in there show that at least for a while. I'm
It's
so
gonna be
excited.
fucking crazy. I'm seriously considering going to the midnight release for this movie,
Oh,
and I hate crowds.
I don't know if you're the theaters by you guys do it, but the theaters over here do as early as 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we've got
Screenings.
those too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
start doing that shit.
I
now,
mean,
too.
they're gonna make tons of money.
Do you think this is going to be the highest grossing movie of all time? Let's talk about
Whole
that.
time, possibly of this year, definitely.
Oh,
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, a year
with that-
easily. There's nothing.
you think it'll be? You think it'll do better than Avengers 2?
Yeah,
You really?
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
so too, because I think that this reaches such a wider demographic as far as like, you got to think like people like our parents' age are going to want to go see this because they remember going to the theater and seeing the original Star Wars the first time when it was released in theaters. So
Now that you mention it though, like, I think about, I'm like, who hasn't seen Star Wars? And then I think, well, actually, I still occasionally encounter people who are like, yeah, I'm not really into Star Wars, but even like the people who are like, yeah, that's too nerdy for me, they find the Marvel movies fairly approachable, so
that's true.
maybe
I'm interested to see
maybe
which one's going to do better.
maybe Avengers has more universal appeal than than Star Wars. But I mean, Star Wars just has such the hype and build up. Like, it's one of those things
People are
where
going to watch it more than once.
There have been Marvel movies. I'm sure Avengers 2 is going to do incredibly well. But there's been an Avengers movie. There's a ton of Marvel movies, and so people might say like, "Yeah, I've been to that one. I don't necessarily need to see it first run." Opening box office weekend though for Star Wars,
It's going to be insane.
Jesus.
I mean, there's
It
going to be
comes out-
people that are going and seeing it multiple times the first weekend.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, it
A lot
comes
of
out in
people-
December. It's like December 17th-ish,
Christmas,
or I don't know
I
exactly
thought.
what the number is, but yeah, it's like the week before Christmas. So that like there's going to be people off on break. Like kids are going to be on Christmas break by then. It's going to be freaking huge.
Yeah, I'm trying to see
It's
if I
good-
can
it's-
find the release date. December 18th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's gonna
So-
blow.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really can't wait for that one to come out. I'm thoroughly excited. Okay, in other news, did either of you guys see? So Jared Leto is playing Joker in the Suicide Squad movie that's coming out in 2016. Now, he has been slowly kind of teasing his role and showing, like, through pictures on like Snapchat or Instagram or wherever. Like he did a play on The Killing Joke and showed himself like holding a camera, kind of like the cover of The Killing Joke. Well, he sent one out recently of himself with green hair and red lipstick on, and I'm not gonna lie, it looks fucking creepy. Like, it looks not like the Joker necessarily, but more like the dude from Silence of the Lambs. Like,
Hannibal Lecter.
no, the fucking Buffalo Bill dude that's like,
Oh, that guy.
yeah, the fucking dude that
Yeah,
wears the
the-
lady's skin and shit. I think Brian is eating a
Yeah, I
bottle of
Lotion on
water.
its skin, or it gets the hose again.
Yeah, did you see this picture of Jared Leto with
Yeah,
green hair and
he's kind of like tilted his head and just a little bit.
yeah,
He's
that
kind of
one.
like that.
Yeah.
I hope that's not the final look.
Oh my
It just
god, I
looked
hope
like
not too.
basic makeup
He looks like a fucking woman.
and just lipstick.
I
Though I heard
haven't
they're taking
seen it yet.
his look from the Batman Returns, the Dark Knight Returns,
So they're trying to
and
copy
that
off
Joker was
Heath
kind of
Ledger.
that Joker looked a little
Oh,
not
oh,
exactly
Dark Knight
like that,
Return.
but
Okay,
yeah, where he's wearing the suit and stuff.
yeah.
I hope that's not the final look, because like even what's his name, Jack Nicholson's Joker looked a lot better than that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Dude,
I thought it
creepy.
was worthy of at least noting how fucking strange he looks in that picture.
He's a creepy dude to me.
He looks like some kind of sexual predator or something.
Yeah, oh, I'm not sure which one you're talking about, but I just found one that talks about it's got a Suicide Squad in the background, the logo, and he's swinging a bat, and he's got like the ripped off face like stapled back on, and that's pretty fucking cool looking actually.
No, that's not the one. I haven't seen that one, but even so, I don't know. Let's see what else we got here.
There's all kinds of other Star Wars
the actor that played Howard Stark in Iron Man,
Dominic Cooper,
is gonna be playing
Bradley Cooper.
He's gonna be playing Preacher on the AMC show.
Oh, that's who he's playing, Preacher?
Yes.
I have no idea about Preacher.
I don't
no
either.
clue.
I was kind of hoping that
he
you would know
wasn't
something about it, Brian. I'm not gonna lie,
No.
because I don't.
he wasn't Howard Stark in Iron Man. That was a different one. He was the Howard Stark from Captain America
Oh
and
yeah, that's right.
and Agent Carter and whatnot.
That's right.
I know there's a character in the comic called Arseface.
Arseface.
Yeah,
Nice.
like Arse as in like
Ass.
S. Yeah, but it's Arse.
Nice. Okay, Topher, what other Star Wars news you got?
Oh man. Okay, so another thing they announced at Celebration was a couple new comic series that are coming up. There's going to be a Lando comic, and I think that one's only supposed to be a 5-issue limited series or something. It's not going to be like an ongoing. But a comic about Lando would be really cool. And then they also announced another comic. It's going to be called Star Wars Journey to the Force Awakens Shattered Empire. And it's basically a series they're going to release this fall that by Greg Rucka that's going to kind of bridge the gap after Return of the Jedi and kind of do a lead up to the movie release. And keep in mind that now that Marvel has the Star Wars license again, that all of these comics are actually canon. They are part of the movie continuity. They count. They're what actually happened. So comic fans are definitely going to want to go pick that up and check out the the lead up to the movie, because there's probably going to be some it's going to help set the stage and whatever's in there actually happened as far as the movie's concerned. So and then also I noticed on Marvel Unlimited right now, the Star Wars has joined Marvel Unlimited, and they now have every Star Wars comic that Dark Horse used to release. There's like over 500 comic books that were added.
But none of that's canon, right?
What's that?
None of that is considered canon.
Correct. Technically, all of that was sort of thrown out. It's all like the expanded universe stuff from before. So it's in the same boat as Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire books, with Grand Admiral Thrawn and the X-Wing series and
so good.
and I mean there's so many good books and everything that just because it doesn't count anymore and they kind of nixed the expanded universe doesn't mean that there isn't some really good stuff in there. But yeah, like there's the Rogue Squadron comics, the old original Marvel series, you know, the Boba Fett comics, the Darth Vader, the Purge series, like right. So I mean, like over 500 comics, pretty much everything that the Dark Horse had put out, Marvel wise, is in here now, and it's all, if you've got a Marvel Unlimited subscription, it's like all in there. You can gorge yourself on it, and I might have to do that at some point, because that's pretty awesome. So another trailer they released at Celebration was for the new Star Wars Battlefront game, and they didn't release gameplay footage yet, but it is game engine footage of some like cinematic stuff, and it's fucking gorgeous. It looks really pretty. They show a battle on Endor with a bunch of rebel troops running through the forest, like battling an AT-ST Walker, and then an AT-AT comes in, and they have to call in a Y-wing bomber strike, and like it's awesome. And you got the speeder bikes. Is this going to be a computer
game, or is this going to be a console game?
It's going to be both. I think they said it's going to be released on PC as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's kind of like
a first-person shooter type deal.
It's Battlefield.
It's basically like Battlefield, Call of Duty, all those kind of games.
I think DICE, the makers of Battlefield, actually are making.
Yeah, DICE is making it, and they make the Battlefield series, so I'm sure it'll have a lot in common with Battlefield, but it's going to be like Star Wars themed, so that's cool.
That looks like something I'm gonna have to get.
Yeah, originally it's gonna come out with four different zones: Endor, Hoth, Sullust, which is like kind of like a more like rocky lava planet, and then Tatooine, I think, is the other one, maybe. I don't remember what the fourth one is. But then come this fall, I think they're going to release another one. Well, I mean, the game doesn't come out till November, but somewhere around the first movie, around the Episode 7 release, the first downloadable content that they're going to add to it is going to be, and I can't remember the name of the frickin' planet, but it's going to be the battle that in the Star Wars movie trailer, that opening scene with the speeder going across like the desert planet with the crashed Star Destroyer in the background. That's not Tatooine. It's a different planet that they said the name of. Juco or something like that.
It's a starship. What is it? Basically, that's where they bring all the smashed up.
It's like a junkyard.
Starships.
Junkyard.
It's a starship junkyard.
Graveyard. Well, supposedly, there's a big fight that happens like in orbit over that planet that causes that Star Destroyer to be crashed there in the movie, and in this game they're going to let you play that battle. So like one of the first released missions is going to be the battle over that planet from the cinematic trailer. So like you're going to be flying the X-wing or the Star Destroyer, shooting that down that ends up getting crashed there. That's in the beginning of the movie trailer. I mean, it sounds pretty cool, and the game looks pretty neat. So
that's awesome.
Again, like all the stuff they're doing, like with the comics and the games to lead up to this movie, like it's just. So excited for this.
It's going to be a pretty awesome year. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, let's basically, Disney gave Star Wars a new hope.
Oh God, that's bad.
That's right. You get it first here. From effing Brian. Okay, enough beating around the bush. Let's get to it. Everybody got their gloves and brass knuckles and everything on. Let's go ahead and talk about the Batman v Superman trailer. We'll let Brian lead this one off, because I'm interested to hear what he says.
I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's just a teaser trailer. So we haven't seen the grand scale of the movie, I guess. because we only see the whole trailer was revolved around Batman and Superman. That's the whole teaser.
That's weird, since the name of the movie is Batman v Superman. You think
I know, but
other
they're
people
throwing
in
all
the
these other
trailer.
characters in there. There's a whole like grander scheme they're trying to get at, right? I don't know. But I mean, like, I don't know. I wasn't entertained by it.
What?
You just see like shots of them. Like there's nothing really going on. There's Superman over like somebody reaching their hand out like Jesus. There's the statue. The whole trailer was just really dark. And I hate that they're doing that to Superman, just making everything just dark and gritty. There's a few things that just absolutely suck that I've been seeing posted all over Facebook and screen grabs. There's one part of the teaser where he's standing on top of the roof, and it looks like he's holding on to like maybe the antenna of the building, which I saw on Facebook and people are posting. That's actually not an antenna. It's a rifle with a giant scope. I mean,
What?
I'll look at look it up.
I don't think so.
I'll send you the picture when we're done recording. There's which, you know, if you remember from, which I won't throw away too fast, because in The Dark Knight Returns, which they're taking everything about Batman from that book, he has that sniper rifle that shoots the grappling hook. So I won't go and say he's holding a gun. He's holding a gun. And Topher pointed out before we recorded that Green Arrow is not in this movie, and Green Arrow in Dark Knight Returns had the bow and arrow that had the kryptonite on it.
It is a rifle with a scope.
Yeah, see? And then there's so that could be his like shooting bullets made of kryptonite, which actually, now that I think about it, that might not make sense because kryptonite hasn't been introduced yet.
Didn't he have a sniper rifle with a scope in Dark Knight Returns?
He did.
Yeah, it had
Did
the
he use
grappling hook.
Was it the grappling hook, or didn't he also like tag Two-Face with a tracking device with it, I think?
Yeah, he used it on a couple occasions in that book. So the fact that he has it, and the fact that realistically a lot of this movie is kind of following the lines of that book. I'm not surprised that he has a gun, and honestly, I'm kind of okay with it. If they're trying to stay close to the source material, I say more power to them.
Yeah, just wait till they bring out the tank that shoots rubber bullets.
I mean,
then there's another screen. There's another screen grab where it's the we've all seen from like set photos that they're the Wayne family mausoleum. But there's another screen grab of a gravestone that reads Richard John Grayson. So there's been rumors before this trailer came out that there was going to be a dead Robin mentioned or whatever, but being Dick Grayson, I don't like that at all. You're making the most famous sidekick dead. I mean, I don't like that. I just don't like that.
I have not seen this one.
You can look that up. It's like a tombstone with like brush in front of it. You can read. It says Richard John Grayson on it.
Yeah,
I mean, they've already got so many characters in here, and what they're doing for the Justice League, maybe they just thought that Robin needed to sit this one out,
By the tone of the trailer, I just feel like they should all be like sitting around going like, in a dark satellite, staring at each other broodingly. I mean, even like the point where Ben Affleck goes, like, do you bleed? Like, his voice sounded weird to me. I don't know if they're making him use like a voice changer for his voice in this movie, like they do on the Arrow.
They had a voice changer, and also that could have been in the mechanized suit. That might not be his all the time Batman voice.
Yeah, that's true.
It was in the powered suit, so that might be an artifact of that. But also, is a voice changer really all that bad? Like, is that worse than?
I like it better than the whole raspy
Christian
thing.
Bale's like, oh, I'm Batman.
I think it's better, and I think it's more believable that it's somebody with that kind of that much money, that much high end tech, tech equipment and stuff. They wouldn't just rely on making their voice raspy to hide their identity. They would have a fucking voice changer. Like, let's think about this realistically for 5 seconds, and you can come to the conclusion that a voice changer is probably how that would be handled. So just because they've never done that before, I don't think it makes that a bad thing at all. In fact, I think it's a huge step in the right direction. I think that makes more sense than him running around talking like this all the time.
One of the biggest criticisms of the Christopher Nolan Batman films
was his voice.
Was the Batman voice.
Yeah.
Like, everybody loved those movies. Like, everybody loved those movies, but they still would make fun of Batman voice. So,
the voice, Christian Bale's voice in the first movie wasn't bad, but then it just got worse each movie.
I don't know. I think that this is a good way for them to keep it consistent, because if they just have him talk normal and then they add some kind of voice modulation in post-editing, then it's going to be consistent throughout this film, throughout whatever other films that they have him in. So you're going to get the same kind of voice out of the same actor throughout the films. It's going to be consistent. It's just, in my opinion, that is much better.
I don't know. I think it was also like they let the trailer leak the same day that the Star Wars trailer came out. Topher has us muted. He's playing with his cat.
Yeah.
But I think that was a mistake, and then releasing it like late that night officially. I don't know.
Well, it was leaked, so they kind of had to, it was poor timing, but I mean, it got leaked, so they kind of had. I don't think they were actually supposed to release it until
next month.
Monday.
Max Fury Road.
I thought it was Monday the 20th.
Oh, is that what? Okay.
Well, April 20th, I thought, is when they said they were going to release it, but instead it got leaked, and so they had to. Why?
Because 420 is pot smokers' day, and they want people to be so high that people actually think it looks good.
Jeez.
I knew he was going to say that. I actually knew he was going to say that.
I can't even come up with a reason why you honestly didn't like the trailer. I think it was awesome. I think that the Batman's costume is fucking incredible. I think it looks awesome. For all the shit that you said about sad Batman and everything like that, his costume looks super badass.
He looked like sad Bruce Wayne in the trailer. He was just like...
No.
I saw Daredevil. All you needed to add is the blue eyes.
And then, I mean, everything that I saw, I thought was awesome. I think it's pretty neat how they're building up Superman to where everybody is kind of blindly following him to the point where, I mean, we don't know the full extent of the storyline yet, but just the fact that you're going to have Batman fighting Superman in the mechanized suit is, I don't know how you couldn't, as a comic book fan, I don't know how you possibly couldn't look forward to that. Like, I challenge you to say that you're almost not a true Batman or Superman fan if you're honestly not looking forward to seeing that.
It's not a true Batman or Superman. They're taking Batman from like a side story that has no canon to the Batman mythos, and Superman's dark and gritty. Plus I'm not a giant Superman fan.
I don't know. I just if you're honestly a Batman fan, then you love The Dark Knight Returns. Like, that's just part of it.
I love it.
That's how it works.
Like,
and this is following that story like pretty closely. The outfit looks like the Batsuit looks like it's out of it. Like, the mechanized suit looks like it's out of it. Like, it doesn't have to be canon. That's the whole point. It doesn't need to be canon. It's not a comic book.
I want like a true to form suit Batman. I don't want a dead Dick Grayson.
You are just
That's how much I love
butthurt
Dick
about
Grayson.
this. He's gonna be like lock himself in his fucking room for like a month when this movie comes out and it's awesome. He's not gonna want to talk to anybody about it.
I know how bad it is.
He's not gonna want to talk to anybody about
and then
anything.
Captain America's gonna come out, and we're gonna see Spider-Man back in the Marvel MCU.
You know what's fantastic about this podcast, Topher, is the fact that we have literally months of recorded evidence of him telling us about how shitty it is, and it's out there for the whole world. So he will literally have to backtrack like 7 months worth of, well, by this time, well over a year worth of talking shit about the movie.
Well, you know, it depends, because like I thought the trailer was good. I saw it and I was like, wow, like by the end of it, I was like actually excited for this movie. You know, I've been kind of iffy about it. You know, I felt like they were trying to do too much, and I wasn't sure where they were taking it or what the point is. But you know, I thought it was good. I liked it. I really liked the direction they were taking with it. You've got Superman, who is an alien. You know, like how would he be received in this world? You can say like, yeah, like, you know, I want it to be like the comics where, you know, everybody loves Superman and blah, blah, blah. Well, we might get there, but he also showed up in, you know, 1941 or whatever, you know, in comics, and even earlier than that. It was like, what, 31, 36? Oh, fuck, I don't know. Anyway, so Superman's been around a long time, you know, but back then, like, you know, we didn't have, like, the news agencies and skepticism is as big as we do today, you know, and like how would an alien being arriving on the planet, even trying to do good, be received right now? You know, there would be cynics, there would be, you know, naysayers, there would be a lot of people who felt threatened, you know, and so it's not the friendly neighborhood, you know, atmosphere of you know 70, 80 years ago. So like I thought it was kind of a fairly more realistic modern take on it. And you know, you've got this guy who came here from another planet and like pretty much destroyed half of Metropolis fighting another dude from the same planet, you know, and it's like why is this one good? You know, sure, he's trying to help out, but you know, people are skeptical. And so you've got Batman, this grizzled old, you know, hero who, you know, decides that he has to have a plan for everybody. He's going to go, you know, and make sure that the Superman guy's on the level, and go, and, you know, he goes and fights against him. And I can see that being the beginning of, you know, their friendship that's the core of a future Justice League. Like, you know, the fact that it's kind of dark and, you know, yes, it's dark and gritty, and, you know, you can level all those, you know, accusations against it, but I thought it seemed the direction they were taking it in, like, seemed good to me. Like, I approved of that. Like, it wasn't necessarily what I expected, but I really liked it. So I've got a lot more hope for this movie than I did before. But, you know, on the other hand, a friend of mine I was talking to, you know, he didn't like the trailer, and he didn't say that he thought the movie was going to be poorly made or anything. You know, like, his main criticism against it was that, you know, like kind of like what Brian was saying, DC is this, you know, it's a cheerier universe. It's a little more bright and optimistic. It's a little more, you know, hopeful. I
disagree completely. Have you read a Batman book?
League, okay, outside of Batman, you know, the Justice League are like these, you know, paragons of you know, like, of idealism and who society should strive to be, and especially Superman, you know, and like that it's supposed to be more fun and bright, and, you know, yes, there are bad times, but it's like, you know, idealistic heroes that you can look up to, and he got the impression from this trailer that, you know, like, there's none of that. It's too, it doesn't have the spirit of DC, you know, to him. So I can see both sides. So like you said, any true fan of Superman or Batman or whatever, you don't know how they couldn't like this trailer. But, you know, I mean, I get it's also a tone thing. I think it could be a well-made movie, and the tone of it still might not sit well with, you know, with some longtime fans.
I guess I see what you're saying. I just, I don't know. It definitely exceeded my expectations even, and I have never thought
Oh,
that
mine
this would
too.
be a bad movie. I've always been entirely vocal about the fact that I think that this is going to be a good movie. I think that this is going to be the point where DC starts leveling the playing field a little bit. Not completely. Obviously, Marvel is light years ahead of them cinematically right now, but I feel like this is going to be the stepping stone to getting the DC cinematic universe, getting those wheels rolling and putting them on the map that way.
My biggest complaint about everything that they've talked about so far leading up to this was that it seemed like they were trying to do much. They were do too much. They were overextending themselves, like too many characters. Well, let's put this guy. Let's put Wonder Woman in. Let's put Cyborg in. Let's have a Nightwing or a Robin. Let's have like Joker. We'll have not Joker. He's not in it, but like let's have they just kept trying to put more and more things in it. Lex Luthor. It's like how many different directions can this go? Like we know you're trying to get to the Justice League, but you don't have to introduce everybody in one movie. Like, let it develop, give it time. And this trailer really focused, I think Brian said he didn't like the fact that it focused just on Batman and Superman. I thought that was great because my biggest worry is that they're trying to do too much, put too many freaking characters in it, and it should be about Batman versus Superman.
I think it's
and the fact that the trailer focused on that actually gave me hope that they're not going to try and do all these freaking side stories.
I think it's going to be kind of like what I was saying months ago, really, is that I think you're going to have a focus on Batman and Superman, and then all these other characters are just going to play kind of like ancillary roles off on the side where there's just a brief glimpse or a flashback or a news story or something about them where they're just brought in a little bit just to be introduced, almost teased, if you will, cameo kind of appearances or just slightly larger than cameo roles. I don't think that any of them are going to be playing major roles in this film. I think it's going to boil down to Batman and Superman, and then somehow those other people will get enough exposure that then in the follow-up movies, then we'll start to see them playing more of starring roles, if you will. Brian, anything else you want to...
I don't know about that. I mean, he's been showing off Wonder Woman for a long while, and he's been showing off, like, all the heroes. I think they might have a too impactful role in this movie. Because he's been showing them off a lot, especially Wonder Woman. He's been showing off since they started filming.
Yeah.
So,
but just because she's on... I mean, just because she's on some posters or he's tweeted out pictures of her and stuff doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be an integral part of the story either. It just means like, hey, we've got this girl playing Wonder Woman and we think she looks badass as Wonder Woman, so here's a picture of her.
There's some potential plot holes there, to I mean, if this movie is supposed to be about how society isn't sure whether they should trust, some alien with superhuman abilities and, like heralded as a god by some people, suddenly you introduce Wonder Woman who
is a god.
Sort of is a god, depending on, which origin you're looking at, and and it's like, so are people going to instantly be okay with that? Like, how has she brought it? Or is it, like people like Wonder Woman come forward in Superman's defense to say, hey, look, there are others,
See, that's what I'm thinking is going to
happen. Like that among you.
That's what I'm thinking is going to happen is there's, hey, we've been here the whole time. You guys just didn't know about us kind of deal. I don't know. I mean, ultimately, we're just going to have to wait and see, but I am already looking forward to the next trailer because, you have to know there's probably going to be 3 or 4 trailers released for this film before the movie actually releases.
No, they're still like a year away.
Yeah,
right?
March 25th, 2016 is the slated date. So we're a little less than a year away from this movie. But I think it's gonna be awesome. I do. So, well, that's about it for this week. I'm Fox 2. We got Topher.
I'm not Fox 2.
And the whole effing Brian.
I'm not Topher or Fox 2.